Welcome to In Your Element, the podcast that unlocks practical wisdom in higher education, where leadership meets real talk. I'm Brendan Hinkle, Manager of Solutions Engineering here at Element 451.
And I'm Daniela Norden, Element 451's Director of Customer Success and Engagement. Join us every other Thursday for discussions with everyday heroes using Element 451 in enrollment, marketing, and student success. We'll unlock the practical tips to help you make waves on your campus.
In Your Element is a part of the Enrollify Network, a robust collection of podcasts designed to help higher education professionals like you grow. Explore our other shows at enrollify.org or check out some of my personal favorites linked in the show notes below.
Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com. Okay, welcome back to In Your Element. I am thrilled to have Amber Hett from Hesston College. Amber, I have to tell you this, in my mind, you're actually Amber Hesston, because Hett and Hesston sounds like so close that I'm always like, wait, it's Amber Hett from Hesston, not Amber Hesston. So I'm thrilled to have you on the podcast today. Welcome to In Your Element. Tell everybody about yourself and your role and what you do at Hesston.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm Amber Hett. I've been at Hesston College for almost 3 years now, and my official title is Admissions Office Manager. They call me the office mom. I kind of take care of everybody on my floor and make sure everything's running smoothly, that data's flowing the way it needs to flow, and kind of helping to get people in. And then I also coach the dance team, so I randomly and very enthusiastically bound out of my office and, gather some students to be dancers and get them to Hesston College.
That's incredible. Do you have like a dance campaign that you run out of Element 451 too, like to recruit dancers?
I haven't done that yet, but I do communicate a lot through it and send them my videos. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Tell everybody, so you are in Element all day, every day. You're the main admin for Element. Tell everybody, what does a day in the life of Amber look like at Hesston?
Sure. Yeah, I am the Element person at Hesston College. I did implementation kind of one-handedly, just getting help here and there from IT. So that is a very possible thing to do, to do it with just a one-person team. My weeks start with pulling reports from both our SIS and also from Element Insights. So we kind of use both of them to make sure that our data is correct across all channels. And then we also pull reports that are kind of classified by segment, so that our niche direct admit kids are all in their own segment, and we pull reports on those to track those kids and see how that partnership is performing as well. And then the rest of my day kind of consists of troubleshooting where I need to, getting a lot of requests from all over campus of, hey, can you pull me this list? How many kids do we have coming in for fall 24? Where are our deposit numbers at? So a lot of that kind of a thing, and setting up segments for campaigns. I've kind of absorbed a bit of the communications coordinator position. So setting up more campaigns using the AI feature has been so much fun. Just learned about that. So we've been trying to use it more and started working with some of those. But yeah, I do a lot of things here and there and everywhere in Element, creating new forms, events that pop up. That's all me.
This is awesome. I don't know if you realize this, but you sort of dropped two bombs subtly in those sentences. The first was single-handed implementation. And you were like, you can do that. And the second was that you've absorbed some of the communications and work. We often hear from partners, do I need a CRM manager, or how many people need to be involved? We don't have that staff or the resources to do that. Can you talk a little bit about your experience really managing this and being that centralized person?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Really, when I look, like when I was in the midst of it, there were days that I was like, wow, can I really do this? But then when you look back, you're like, that wasn't awful. Everything's laid out beautifully through using Asana. You know what you have to do day to day. My implementation specialist was magnificent. She was absolutely wonderful. Every weekly meeting, she walked me through everything. She answered questions in between. I had the tech staff in there as well. So if I had those really nitty gritty questions, they were out there to help me. Yeah. And really, it fit into my daily schedule as well. There was only about 2 or 3 days in there that I shut my door and was like, nobody can talk to me today because I'm finishing this. And really, that came down when it was finishing our application, because we completely rebuilt our applications in Element and did the whole application site. It's beautiful. It makes me happy every time I see it. So those couple of days that I was working through that and like working through the decision board and getting all of those set up, those were the days that I closed my door and was like, everybody, hang on a minute, just give me some space. And I could just bust it out and do it that way and stay really focused. But yeah, and even after implementation, anytime I needed help, like just 2 weeks ago, I got into the Asana board and asked a question and I got answers through it again. So yeah, it is very possible to do it one-handed. You do need to have somebody with your web and with IT to help with some of the integration points. But even that was like, it took them an hour and then they were like, are you good? Because we don't want to do anymore and we've got other things. I'm like, yeah, I got it. So it was very, very user-friendly.
That's perfect. Well, I think that you can also take credit for, because you and I have been talking about this, the 20% enrollment increase that you have seen. So you are the central point of contact. You are building decisions and admin streamlining processes. Tell us and walk us through some of the tactics that you've seen for this enrollment increase, this massive enrollment increase.
Yeah, that enrollment increase seemed like such a faraway goal. And that we've blown past our goal by now. And we were all kind of like, okay, how are we going to do this? And part of it, we really brought in, especially athletics and performing arts, and said, this is how we're going to talk to students. This is where we're going to store their info. This is where you're going to go to see what we're telling them. So you're telling them the same thing. And that really helped us keep up on contacting students. It helped us give a seamless, streamlined communication process across those departments. So counselors were saying the same thing as coaches, were saying the same thing as the theater director. So we didn't have that, well, what did this coach say to them? And then the kids were like, well, I was told this. So it was really, really nice at having that nice cohesive, we're all saying the same thing type of a deal. The communications that we've been able to send through this have been just magical, really. I mean, we get the beautiful banners and you type it in and there it is and it's lovely and it sends quickly. Like there's no waiting to load in a list and to do all these things. There's no reformatting contact lists. You pick the segment that you want and you can get it down to really minute factors in there and send them to exactly the kids you want to send it to. So there's also no more confusion of, why did I get this? I don't care about that. I'm going to do this. So I feel like, and it's gotten really personal too, with all those tokens that you can put in, everything has the student's name on it. Everything's, it is customized to them when you can put in what their major is. So it says, Dear Bobby Joe, congratulations on your acceptance to the aviation program. That's a lot cooler than just saying, hey, you're coming. So it's just, yeah, it's been really great for that personalization. And it's just the speed of it all is a huge factor when you can communicate to that many students in one day instead of having to load your list and get it over to Fire Engine Red or whatever other email platform you're using that you have to get those separated lists in. This is just really streamlined all of that process to make it happen. And then you get people that are happy to come to work because it's not frustrating. And you get counselors that are pumped and ready to go when they come in and they're ready to recruit, and the crazy office mom that keeps coming out of her office and saying how much she loves everybody. So yeah, it has helped a lot. And the forms that we have made everything easier for the students when they can, they've put in an inquiry with us, they decide to apply, they log onto the app site, and their info is preloaded. So they have so much less work to do. So that's just been a dream. And then even when we're working with those direct admissions kids, we load their information in through, the imports, which is also a gorgeous thing and I love it. But then we already have their information so that when they go to the next form, half of the stuff is already done. It's a few clicks and they submit it. They can also upload the info that we're looking for right away. There's just no downtime.
Yeah. This is the big theme that I'm hearing. Yes, you've streamlined it for students, but you've also streamlined it for your internal staff too. Before I get to that, I want to ask, we always get asked, how do you go about getting buy-in every time you're bringing in your athletics department or maybe your performance and visual arts? Talk about how you were able to get them to come along and to be in Element with you.
With the coaches and the program directors, it was the easiest sell I've ever made.
Whoa.
Just bringing them in and showing them and say, I threw my screen up on the wall and had them all in one room and said, this is what we can give you. You can have your own phone number to text from. You don't have to hand out your personal phone number anymore. That's a big seller. And just having all the information at their fingertips. I mean, the SIS, yes, the information's there, but you have to click how many times to get it. And if you don't have network access, you can't get it. If you have an internet connection, you can get your student information through Element. And so we've got people that are out on the road and they're like, oh yeah, I just showed the kid the QR code on my phone and we had them fill out the form right there on my phone. So it was just showing them that ease of use. Even some of the coaches that I was like, oh gosh, how am I ever going to get them to use this, were the biggest cheerleaders for this. They were like, this is awesome. We're using this all the time. This is what we're going to do. And then from there, I even had people contact me and say, hey, what do I need to do to get into Element? Can you teach me how to use this? Absolutely. Let me set you up in 5 minutes and I'll come over to your office and show you how to use it. And so it's just the setup is easy. I mean, you fill out a few things and they're there. You set your teams up and you're ready to go. And we've got access from me that can access everything down to kind of a read-only access for those people that don't really need to get their fingers in it, but they want to see the information. So you can tie it down as tight as you want or let people fly.
Yep.
And if you're like me, you have trouble letting people fly, that's okay too. You can meet them somewhere in the middle and say, well, you can't delete anything because that will mess with my whole system and we can't have that. So it was a really easy sell. Faculty's a little bit tougher of a sell. They like their processes. They like how they do things. And I think once we can really sit down and look at it during a time of the year, some magical unicorn moment that they're not slammed and they can actually see what it does with appointments and communications and all this, I think they can really get into it. And some of them were already like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm like, well, if you want to use it, I can get you in.
And so have you seen increases in enrollment or retention for those programs, maybe in your athletics or in performance arts? Like, I imagine you're running these reports, you're talking to these people, and then the proof is in the pudding, right? You can show them the numbers and how this is working.
Yeah. Well, and the timing of this all aligned so beautifully for us because we're transitioning to 4-year athletics. So we have a huge influx of athletes anyway. And how do you handle all those if you don't have a system that shows you exactly where everybody is at one point in time? So I don't think we would have been able to get the number of students we did, even with the increase in applications and interest, if we didn't have a system that allowed us to communicate with them as quickly and efficiently as we have.
Wow.
Because, it's just if you have, 20% more students coming at you and you don't have a way besides, let me make this Excel spreadsheet and load it into this program so that I can email them tomorrow and it doesn't have their name, whatever, you're going to lose those people. The summer melt's going to be more extreme. It's just, you have to have that quickness that all of these kids are looking for. I mean, they walk around with a cell phone in their hand. Everything is immediate for them. If we aren't immediate for them too, then we're going to lose them to somebody else that is. And Element has really helped us do that because we can keep our groups of people and be like, okay, baseball has 20 visitors coming in 1 week. we're going to send all of these kids a message so that we're like, hey, we're pumped that we're going to see you this week. So it's just those little bitty things that you don't really think would make a big difference that do to the incoming students. And it's the world they live in. They have everything at their fingertips. And direct admission shows that. They don't want to fill out an application to come to college. Well, this allows us to do that and still collect all the information we need. So,
well, you just set me up so nicely, because one of the other bombs that you had dropped was speaking about direct admissions. We get this question so often. Talk us through how you're doing direct admissions, how you're making it so much easier for that student. You've got the information. How are you admitting them? Give us the deets.
Sure. And this one, we're a small college. So this one, we had a 2-person team, doubled my team size. It was so great. But yeah, we set up an import through an SFTP site. So daily, these documents are coming straight in. It takes me like 10 minutes a day, depending on how big the files are. We set up the import to line up with the fields that we needed, and it moves over seamlessly. We set up rules to add labels and assign counselors. So these people are right away getting a contact, and we set up a workflow to send them an immediate communication of, hey, we see you're interested in us. Next thing you need to do is fill out this onboarding form. Made a gorgeous landing page that is just for these niche kids. The first thing they see is like this lovely graphic of our campus with the niche logo and a little bit of an explanation. Their onboarding form is right next to it that collects that vital information that we need to have to take that next step. Then if they scroll down, there's some more really cool things because, landing pages can look amazing and it doesn't take long to do it. So why not? And then they kind of fall into that niche workflow that we have set. So they're waiting on us to get back to them. They're getting those things as if we've seen all the information and we're ready to go, until our counselors are like, okay, I've got time to really dig in with this kid. That is one that we could not possibly have done without Element. Our SIS is difficult to import things in. It's possible. It's not bad. But the large size of the import files that we get, if I did it during the workday, I would destroy our system for everybody on campus. So I'd have to do imports in the evening, and nobody wants to do that. With Element, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter the size of the file. I may have to wait 2 minutes instead of 1, but it would load it in beautifully and everything's there. And like I said, with the rules and the workflows, they were automatically getting that contact from us. And we set it up by counselor. So no matter which territory they were in, it was, this is so-and-so, your aviation counselor, and we see that you are interested in this, and here's what we need to have from you next. Yeah, I can imagine doing direct admissions without a system like Element.
Wow. How much time do you think this has saved you all internally?
I can't even imagine. I'm pretty sure that I would be a caffeine addict and be working like 12-hour days just to try to keep up with the imports of information. And that's really a big chunk of what I do, is managing those imports. And I could not do it with our other database.
Wow.
It just wouldn't work.
Wow.
So yeah. And then, when you have a file come in for, like what was our biggest one? Business, I think, that every week you get a file of 4,000 students. How do you talk to them? How do you touch them all? You can't. So then you have all of these students that have so much potential, and you lose them because you can't talk to them as soon as they get in. This way we can.
Yep.
It's like, I think we have a delay of a day before we send them their onboarding form. And then we delay it like a couple more before we're like, hey, you haven't done your onboarding form. You silliest of gooses, fill this out. And then after we get that, we're like, oh, great. We need your parent information so that we can match up your FAFSA when you fill it out. So, we're collecting that information quickly, and it really doesn't take our counselors any extra time.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fantastic.
This is great. It sounds like, so there are a couple of things. That personalized communication, a centralized system of record, really, everything running through Element 451, streamlining those processes where you can, it all works. I mean, you've seen
Yes.
your enrollment increase. It feels like your internal team is happier. Students are getting what they need when they need it. This feels like just a great recipe for a lot of our customers. Do you have any like pro tips that you would share for them, for anybody who wants to undertake this?
I mean, the biggest thing that I have sold my internal people on is when I go in to train them, I tell them, I'm like, you can't break this. You can't. I have done just about everything I can in there, and I haven't broken it once. And like I said, I broke our SIS for the entire campus doing an import. So taking that fear factor out of, oh my gosh, well, if I do something wrong, it's going to be ruined. It's not. It's really not. When you're implementing, follow your homework and get it done. But if you can't get the entire week done in a week, you're going to be okay. You will catch up. It's going to be okay.
Yep.
I think that was the biggest thing, because going into it by myself, I mean, yes, the support of my team around me going, you can do this. It was still scary to think, okay, how do I do this? And the tech support with Element is second to none. Every question I have ever had has been answered, even down to the techs building something for me because it wasn't in the system and I needed it. So they added it for me. So you cannot break it. If you can think it up, you can figure out a way to do it in there.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of things that I'm like, can I do this? And they're like, well, we haven't, but let's see if we can figure it out. I mean, down to we're going to be building a journey that takes a parent through a workflow simultaneously with their student, simply by labeling the parent's profile to match their student. So when their student is accepted, they get a parent-directed accepted communication at the same time their student is getting acceptance letters. So
that's huge.
Yeah.
That's also personalized, right? Like,
yes, I am so excited.
Here's what you need to do as a parent. Here's what you need to do as a student. And you're doing it at the same time. That's awesome.
And that's something that we couldn't do before. Like, we had this great idea of, let's do a parent newsletter. How do we get it to them? Well, this way we can have the content built, and then as they move, it gets sent automatically. We don't have to do anything. All we have to do is build it and load it in. And with the AI features, you say, hey, this is the information that I want in here. This is how long I want it to be in between things. This is how I want this to change and when I want it sent. And it does it for you.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, I mean, it's not eliminating anybody, but it just makes it so much easier to get those big ideas out of your head and make it happen where you haven't been able to do it before.
Yeah. Yep. So I have to ask, Amber, I know you were at Engage a few weeks ago.
Yes.
You saw some of the releases. What's the one that you're most excited about?
The student portal.
I knew it. I knew that's what you were going to say. Tell everybody why.
I was just blown away with everything that it's going to be able to do for our students, mostly because the student portal that we have that's connected into our SIS, it is not user-friendly. We get complaints about it all the time. I've done what I can by making new forms to kind of embed in there so that at least the forms are pretty. But having that student portal is just going to be a game changer for our students. They will be able to see so much information that they need without having to call us. And we're planning on implementing the AI assistant as soon as our web redesign is done. And that's going to be a game changer. I mean, just the numbers that were thrown out at the summit of it saved the school 67,000 minutes of work. That's insane. And so, yeah, I got back to my team and I'm like, we have to do this. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. When the redesign is done, the assistant will be on that page. And I was like, I'm already starting the knowledge base. It's already getting loaded, so you have no choice. But yeah, that's going to be a game changer. And really the AI assistants as a whole for the internal staff part of it too, game changer. Because, yeah, I mean, when I'm sick and I can't get to my phone, if people have questions, it's kind of like, guess we'll wait till tomorrow because Amber's not here to fix it. And that'll be a real big help for them so that they can just type in a question and see how it goes. So yeah, I'm really excited about all of those fun AI assistants, student portal, all that fun stuff.
We are too. I'm excited to see what Hesston does with that. All right. So one final question for you. And I know I dropped this on you right before we got on the phone, but it is the In Your Element podcast. And so we ask our guests, when do you feel truly in your element in the work that you do?
I find that I am one of the biggest nerds that I have ever known. So when I am given a problem and just said, can you do this? Getting in there and just saying, you know what, I bet I can. Give me a minute. And just trying to figure out what it can do and discovering all those new little pieces. And if I need to, jump on the assistant and get with a tech and they're like, yeah, you can do that. I mean, that is like the biggest high for me when I get to geek out and do something fun and just build something new and figure out a way to solve a problem that we haven't been able to solve before. That's my jam. I love it.
Oh, I love that. I relate to that so closely. We've got some folks on staff who we really like to do that. Give us a challenge, give us a problem. Let's try to break it, or let's try to figure out the creative solution. And you're right. I have yet to not figure out a way to do something in Element 451. If you understand the pieces, the components, the functionality, and that end goal, you can string things together to get to that. Direct admissions is a great example of that, honestly. The way the system allows you to do that, and using imports, for example, landing pages, like all of the features that you just listed for that project that work together so seamlessly and make it really user-friendly and student-friendly. Eliminating those barriers is a lot of what we talk about.
Yep. Element does that 100%.
That's awesome. Well, Amber, thank you so much. I'm so glad that we got a chance to catch up, that we learned a little bit about Hesston. I will no longer call you Amber Hesston. I will get that name correct. Yeah. It's just too close, like Hesston, Hett, simultaneous in my brain. But thank you so much for joining us and sharing your tips and tricks, your wisdom, and all of the good stuff that's going on at Hesston. I appreciate it.
Yep, you are most welcome.
In Your Element is part of the Enrollify podcast network. If you like this podcast, chances are you'll like other Enrollify shows too.
Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a plethora of marketing, enrollment, and higher ed technology shows that are jam-packed with stories, ideas, and frameworks, all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional.
Our shows help higher ed marketers and enrollment professionals find their next big idea and feature a selection of the industry's best as your host. Learn from Mallory Wilsey, Artis Kadu, Maya Demishkovich, and so many other of your favorite leaders in higher ed.
Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered, all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.